cussed out and threatened my mom. This is a long story, so buckle up. Lady Saturday was Free Comic Book Day, and I, 16M, was heavily anticipating it. I had told my mom, 42F, for weeks before how I wanted to go, and she knew how much I wanted to go. The Friday before FCBD, I cut the front yard grass because my mom told me that the grass had to be cut for me to go. So I cut it, that night, and I went to sleep. The next day I burst out of my bed and knocked on my mom's door. We live in a duplex, my mom's on one side, me and my sister are on the other, 24F. I asked her if we could go to the comic shop. It was about 10 a.m. and that's when the skip opened, but she told me that the backyard had to be cut too. I will note that she had a lot of hostility and seemed mad as me for seemingly no reason. I told her that the lawnmower needed gas and that we had to get some. She got in the car, and while I went to get the gas can to fill it, she pulled off without me. Weird, so I still proceeded to cut the backyard grass while she was gone. Turns out the lawn now managed to turn on and cut the backyard. I then knocked on her door again. She had came back, and I banged for probably 2 minutes because she wasn't answering. She then answered and tried to hit me with iron and told me, "Stop banging on my door, I'm not bringing you nowhere," and she got mad at me for not being the gases can fast enough, which I guess warranted her to just pull off. I was angry, so I kicked a bottle of water that was on the floor and walked away to my side of the house. She then came in 5 minutes later, with a knife, or screwdriver, not sure which, and just started punching me and trying to hit me. She threw my PS5 on the ground and started hitting my computer and my monitors, all which I paid for with my own money. She kept trying to hit me, so I held her hands down and she somehow cut me. She then told me she's going to call the cops on me, and I just told her to do it. After that she left and I went on her side and just started banging on the door, very loudly. I was pissed because she was breaking my shit, so I just banged on her door for about 5 minutes. After I stopped and went back to my room, but about 10 minutes later the police arrived. They questioned her and me. They quickly realized that my mom was the problem as she was frantically screaming and I was just calm and telling them what happened. My mom actually got brought to the precinct because of her cutting me. Later on, she cut my phone off, cut me off from the internet, unplugged and took all my electronics, that I paid for, took my wallet, as well as all the money from my bank account that I earned by myself. At this point I was filled with rage. She had ruined my day, destroyed what was rightfully mine, despite me doing everything she told me to do. The next morning I went on her side and just started banging on her windows and doors, harder than the day before. I called her a fat bitch, and told her that I would kill her. I didn't actually mean it, but I was just so angry that I was saying anything. She recorded me and obviously tried to play the victim as if she hasn't threatened me with actual weapons the day prior, and after a couple minutes I went back to my room. I want to give some context real quick that I'm 6'4" and I'm black, so anything I do will be seen as a threat, even by other black people. I often forget I'm not viewed as a human being despite just being 16. I completely understand that what I said was wrong, but any hostility or aggression that she had with me first didn't matter in the eyes of others. All they see is 6 feet 4,280 pound black man threatens his mom. They could care less about her cutting me, or pulling out weapons on me. About 3 hours later I was just in my room, until some type of hospital social workers came. My mom gave them some sob story about how I haven't been acting myself, and that she wanted me to get a mental health evaluation. I complied and I went with them because what else can you really do? I ended up having to spend the night at the hospital because the psychiatrist wasn't there to evaluate me, so I had to wait the next day. It was a very weird experience. It was the first time in my life that I was treated like a crazy person. I've never harmed myself or anyone ever, yet I was being treated like a criminal. Anyway, after evaluating me, they determined I had no mental issues and sent me back home. Now I'm back home, still with no internet, my phone is off, and she stole all my money and electronics that I've worked for. Apparently she sent out the video of my screaming at her to family members, and now they want to jump me. Of course she played the victim, didn't bother mentioning how she stabbed me, and tried to burn me with an iron. One of my uncles said he was going to come to my house with his 2 adult sons and they were going to jump me. Just to remind you, all this shit started because she wouldn't just do what she promised me and keep her word. I did all the chores she told me to do, and it wasn't enough. My birthdays are in 1 week and she took all of my shit LMAO. I do online school, so she told me that I had to go to the library to do my work, but I just haven't at all. I'm not walking 2 miles when I have Wi-Fi at home. I graduate this summer. It was originally supposed to be in 2025. I just don't know what to do. Obviously I was the asshole for threatening her, but I'm firmly standing on the fact that she started and she escalated the situation. Funny enough, she told me that she wouldn't call the cops on her brother despite him basically threatening to beat me to death with 2 grown men, yet she called the cops on me for threatening her.